Hello there everybody, this is Alex from Hardcoin Guides, bringing you my guide for God of War 2 on Titan difficulty. Today we're doing Part 5, the Steeds of Time. Yeah, I'm getting old, I'm starting to actually kind of forget these things. But yeah, this is the Steeds of Time. This is another big-ish level. Not incredibly long, but we're going to have a boss fight. And then we're going to have the section where we do with the Steeds. But the first part of this is, of course, going to be with Theseus. And I've mentioned this in previous episodes before, but I'm going to mention it now. At this point in time, you can either upgrade your blades to level 2 or have your bow to level 2. And the difference between the two is that, also real quick, I just want to talk about something with Theseus fight. So what you're seeing I'm doing here is I'm basically doing square triangle because I'm trying to get him to get knocked away, to get him on the ground. That's what I'm trying to do, square triangle. Sometimes he gets knocked up. Not knocked up, I mean, sometimes he gets knocked away. That's what I meant to say. But yeah, just, you know, attack him with a square triangle, hold block, you know, after you do a square triangle, and just see if you can try to, you know, get this attack right here. So that's what you're kind of aiming for. And if you're not doing any damage to him, he's just doing this second phase of this fight. But anyway, if you upgrade the blades, you do more damage toward the Minotaurs than you do Theseus. Because Theseus, for the most part, his entire section of him, most of it, like 75% of his boss fight, is him standing up on this little door, and you know, we need to have the Bane, the bow, to do damage to him, and of course, to get magic back, we have to kill the Minotaurs. So it's really kind of up to you. It's a pick your poison. I ended up upgrading level 2 blades. I don't know, it just felt natural to do, so I just did that. You don't need to do that, but that's what I did. These icicles things, do be very careful of them. I think you only have 2 hits with them at this point in time, because I don't think you can get any higher level of health at this point. So, essentially, just, you know, watch out for the icicles. They're very, very deadly, but they can also be pretty deadly to the Minotaurs too, and I'll get into that once we start dealing with them. So, what I do is, as soon as he, you know, starts running away, I just instantly run back here and start shooting him as much as I possibly can, and just waste all of your ammo. Just waste all of your ammo on him. And you'll know you're starting to get him to like the halfway mark when he has like a cutscene of him just pretty much just kind of screaming. That's when you know for a fact that he's pretty much good to go, and you're pretty much almost, you know, close to being done with him. So the thing with the Minotaurs though, and you'll see me do it pretty often, is there's a couple of things. One, I try not to attack too fast. So the thing with this game is you can kind of like not buffer, but you can sort of you can attack, but you don't have to attack almost instantly. Like, you could do, like, square, wait, square, wait. You know, you could do that. You can kind of build up your attacks, because if you do attack these, you know, Minotaurs in a form where you attack too fast, they'll eventually start blocking you, and that could be troublesome. And, of course, if you get knocked on the ground like that, you will take quite a bit of damage, so just be careful. Try to at least get one of them in the circle. You know, if they're charging at you, just block them. And another thing I tend to try to do in this fight as well is I try to stay on the very far end toward where we are as a player. That way I can have a better view on the camera of Theseus to know where he's going from. His icicle shots that he does himself, not the icicles that come from the ground, but the ones that he does that he shoots at you, don't do a lot of damage. So if you happen to get hit by those, that's fine. No biggie. If you stand in these corners, you can actually take out some of the Minotaurs a little bit better and have just a bit more coverage from him. But the main problem, though, is he will actually send icicles down from the ground to attack you if you're hiding in those corners. So that's something else to kind of like be careful of. But you could use that to your advantage. You can kind of exploit the fight and make it to where, you know, you hide in those corners and you have the Minotaurs, you know, inside of them, like right here, and you can do some damage. Now that, I think when they're on the ground, I don't think they take damage from the icicles. I've never really tested that theory out, and I really kind of don't want to. But, yeah. Pretty much this entire fight is just mostly just be patient with it, and not only that, but just be on the lookout for the icicles. That's the main thing. Be on the lookout for the icicles and the Minotaurs. You want to watch out for where they're hitting. And if the Minotaurs get too dangerous for you, either try to push them into a corner, or at the very least, try to do plume, which is square, square, triangle, and so you can get some like ranged damage on them, but never really use your bow against them. If you can ever get like a finishing combo with the square attack, where you do the, you know, the last of the square attacks to knock them away, that's something else that you kind of want to go for too. You don't really want to go for the full square combo into a triangle, because it has a lot of end lag, and that's something we don't really want to have. Just in case we accidentally get hit by, say, an icicle or a Minotaur or anything for that matter. So yeah, this right here is pretty much why this fight takes forever if you upgrade your blades, is because we're not doing that much damage to we're not doing that much damage to Theseus himself. But yeah, you saw right there, like, you know, that should have done some damage to him. But if you hide, you know, underneath his door, or hide in anywhere that he can't see you, he's going to send out these icicles, and they're going to be pretty fast too. So if you feel confident with doing that, and you feel confident with hiding in those corners and taking out Minotaurs, go right for it. But if you're not that confident and you just want to have like a bit better of a view, you know, stand on the very edge of the arena and you should be fine. By the edge, I mean like go completely adjacent from him. You know, like where I'm standing right now. That's a pretty good spot to kind of like just get a good view of. And you know that's the entire premise of this fight, is mostly just camera work, because knowing where the icicles are going to be and knowing where the Minotaurs are going to be and what they're up to is going to be almost life or death in that situation. And Theseus is actually pretty hard. But yeah, you can tell this fight's going on for a while, because we still have like another few minutes left of this fight. And like I was saying earlier, this is pretty much why it's taking so long, is because my Bane is not upgraded to level 2. And if you had a level 2 Bane, you'd probably knock off like a good couple of minutes of this fight. So if you're struggling with this fight, and you haven't upgraded the blades or the Bane at this point, you know, you could always upgrade the Bane to kind of make the fight just a little bit less longer, because let's be honest, level 2 blades aren't really going to save you that much trouble. And to be fair, you would much rather fight Theseus on the ground than you would in the air. As in, like, you'd rather fight him not on the door and just fight him like in his first phase. I would rather have that take longer to do than not. But yeah, I know I did the triangle finisher there, and what I mean by end lag is like sometimes it just takes like a split second, you know, longer to kind of get out of that and roll out of it than it probably would. Well, not even like roll out of it. Actually, it just takes a little bit longer for the animation to fully finish, as in like from start to end, I should say. Not like recovery frames type thing, but like from start to end, while you're doing the slam triangle, you know, it does take a bit for that thing to kind of start up and then finish. So that's what I mean by end lag. Well, that's not technically what end lag is. Whatever, you get what I mean. Like the animation, it's just a bit long, and you can kind of get stuck inside of it, and that's something you don't want to get stuck inside of. You want to be able to have at all times the ability to block. That's kind of the situation here. I think we have one more round of Minotaurs to go through, and we have just enough magic to eventually take them out. Now, I didn't try it out. I probably should have. I'm not 100% sure if using Rage along with magic does more damage, but if you want to try that out for yourself, go right ahead. I used Rage on Minotaurs just so I could just at least get them to eventually die and then get the magic back for it. But, you know, like I said, maybe it could work. The one thing that Rage does is it definitely gives you more defense, but I'm not 100% sure if it actually gives you more attack or not. I'm going to look that up right now, actually. A little bit unprofessional, but, yeah, let's go check it out and see what benefits you can kind of get from it. If they even tell me anything or not. Da-da-da. Okay. Oh, it's actually immune to petrification. I don't know that. And if you actually get stoned, you can actually break out of it with it. That's pretty cool. After a boss battle, the rage meter was automatically filled. I didn't know that either. Huh. The hit counter did not drop until... Yeah, I know that one. When the player activated the Rage of the Titans, it caused a small startup drain around 1/10 of the meter. Oh, that sucks. Whenever Kratos uses Prometheus Inferno, he could be seen banging his chest if one looked close enough. I didn't know either. Huh? Let's see here. I'm trying to think of like what you get out of it, though. It's not specific enough. I'm not finding anything super specific. As far as I know, I don't know if it gives you extra damage or if you just get... I know you get extra defense. I know that for a fact. Yeah, you can't be interrupted. Immune to side effects. Here we go. Kratos once again gets empowered. His attacks do twice as much damage and only receives half amount of damage from enemies. So there's that. So yeah, after all the Theseus fight, because like, you know, it does take a bit to kind of go through. It's really annoying, and back when I was younger, when I was originally doing God of War 2 Titan mode for the first time ever, like way back when I was like a kid, before I was doing even Hardcorean, I struggled on Theseus. Like, I really struggled against him. But then eventually I overcame it, and I eventually beat God of War 2 on Titan mode, and that, you know, to be fair, if it wasn't for God of War, I probably would never have done Hardcorean, to be honest with you. I mean, maybe I would have, I don't know, but God of War, for the most part, for what it's worth, really is the, what do you call it, patient zero of, like, me doing Hardcorean, because this is where my love for, like, hard mode stuff started to really kind of take fold. So, in here, you have unlimited magic, and we're just going to use the rage. I'm not going to bother with upgrading the rage too much. I don't even know if I even upgraded the rage at all. Now, I have seen videos of people using the rage against, like, Zeus. So, it is something you could theoretically upgrade. If you're not going to upgrade Urael, you can always upgrade, you know, Kronos' rage to see if that, maybe that might help you better in specific fights. I used Urael just because of, like, the satyrs and stuff, when they, you know, start to become relatively irritating. Also, for those that are curious, I don't think this is the section where you can get like 1,000 hits with your rage meter. They don't spawn enough enemies, and plus they die kind of, you know, quickly. So that ends up becoming kind of like not exactly what I need. Sorry, I was clicking away on my Twitter because if I have my Twitter open, I'm going to keep clicking on it. But yeah, I don't know if you can get 1,000 hits in there or not. I don't remember where you could get the 1,000 hit trophy from. I have platinumed all of the God of Wars except for Ragnarok so far. Mainly because, like, Ragnarok is just such a big game. And for those that are wondering, will I ever do a God of War, you know, like, you know, give me God of War difficulty for God of War 4. Like, would I ever do a guide to that in the future? I don't know. We'll see what the future holds. The reason why I don't know is because, like, as much as I like playing God of War right now, and I literally could just record all the God of Wars and then just have them all finished and recorded. But, gameplay-wise, not commentary-wise, the main thing with that is, well, one, that's a lot of space it's going to take up, but, I don't, for my guide channel specifically, I don't like to have, also, yeah, I did the puzzle wrong, so that's, yeah, just ignore this. I fudged up. You're supposed to do, I think, the one farthest away, or the one closest first. That way you can activate the heartbeat that goes to the other side. That's how that kind of works. But yeah, I messed up. That's all right. But yeah. So, what's that? What was I getting at? I'm trying to think. Oh yeah. A lot of the reason why I don't do every God of War in, like, one, you know, quick succession is because I kind of like to space out my games. I don't want to do one franchise constantly, you know, on this channel. I kind of want to have at least 2, maybe 3 different guides in between from different franchises. Because, like, I haven't done Transformers in a bit, and, you know, that could always come up again is... Yeah, I still have Transformers to do. I still have, like, what, 3 more guides to do with that thing? I have, like, the other possibly, like, 2 to 3 characters to go, and then plus, you know, every character gets changed at every checkpoint run. So, yeah. I'm the type of guy that, like, when I say I want to do a project, I kind of want to do it. You know, I still kind of want to do it, but, yeah. Since I have the time to talk about stuff now, I can always just talk about whatever, because this is really nothing to be talked about via guide. This is relatively just, you know, easy enough puzzle to figure out. Unless you've never done the puzzle before, then, you know, it might be a bit of a struggle, as it was for me originally, but, I assume since, you know, people are probably watching for Titan mode, they probably know what they're doing. To talk about something off topic about off topic from God of War, and to talk about something on topic for, like, you know, guide stuff, I would like to eventually do, I said this before, but Kingdom Hearts 2, Proud Mode, and then eventually Critical Mode. I will probably be skipping Chain of Memories just because Chain of Memories... I like Chain of Memories a bit, but I also find it just a tad bit boring too. So, and, I mean, oh, I could beat Hard Mode. I'm sure I probably could. It's just that, you know, I don't mind skipping Chain of Memories to go into Kingdom Hearts 2. My main focus for Kingdom Hearts is just to do the main series. I don't really want to do all the spin-off stuff. So now, typically I like to go from, you know, one game in a franchise to the next as, you know, a sequel. I like to do my games in order. I typically like to do that. And you'll be seeing that with God of War. I will be doing Chains of Olympus after, you know, God of War 2. Not right after I'm done with the guide, but I mean like in the future, because I think Chains of Olympus comes after. Not in terms of story-wise, but just in terms of game-wise. I'll also not be doing mobile stuff. I don't do mobile games. So we're going to be skipping all of those. But, yeah, one thing that kind of breaks that rule just a tad bit is, of course, Kingdom Hearts and Luigi's Mansion. I don't have any way to really record Luigi's Mansion 2. I don't have a 3DS capture card, so I'm not going to bother with that. And for those that are wondering, like, what do you need a guide for Luigi's Mansion for? It's like, well, you don't really need a guide for it, but I do them for fun. You know, it's okay to do a game that's not hard every once in a while, so. But they're just going to essentially just be an A rank type thing. That's practically about it. But yeah, I actually had to edit this out because I accidentally screwed up multiple times. Embarrassingly so. That's why that section was edited right there. And then after all that's said and done, now we're just going to head back to the temple, and then we're going to get to, I think, some of the harder sections of the game. Or at least a hard section, if I remember correctly. If I'm mistaken, I'm going to tell you where it's at right now. It's basically the Atropos section. And it has those guys that go underground. That part took me damn near too long to finish. Like, it just was... I just, for some reason, was not understanding what I was doing in that section. But yeah, I think that's a much further section away from this. But yeah, right here, you can actually use your magic if you wanted to. You don't have to, you know, fight them. You know, like I'm doing right now. You can use your magic, because you do actually have a magic chest that you can use at your disposal if you haven't used it already. So it's there for you for free if you want it. By now, you probably would have it. I would assume at the very least. But if you don't, that's fine. You can always come in Minotaurs to get magic back and get health back. So, or you know, if you want to health back, you can just die and get the checkpoint. I don't think you can actually restart checkpoint to get health back. I think you have to die to get it to spawn back. So that's something else to keep in mind. Also, I'm going to be skipping the chain sections. We're not going to be watching the entire chain section. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to make you guys watch the entire chain section because, God, that takes forever. And man, do I mess up quite a bit. Because sometimes, you know, the camera gets a little bit finicky. Oh, yeah. Speaking of games that might actually break the mold for my guides, Devil May Cry might actually be one of them. I've wanted to do Devil May Cry 4, Dante Must Die mode, because that's the only Dante Must Die mode I've beaten so far. Mainly because, like, that's the only one I've really put the time into. And, you know, God knows DMC 3 is going to be a pain in the ass to go through. So, DMC 4 is the only one I've ever beaten on Dante Must Die besides the reboot. I don't think I've beaten DMC 5 yet. I like DMC 5, but I don't like it enough to really go through it too much. I haven't really spent the time to go through it. Mainly because I was getting pissed off that, you know, the turbo mode thing for PS4. Like, I don't think we had turbo mode on there. I was getting kind of annoyed with that. And now I have it on, you know, PS5. I got the special edition because they made it free and all that other fun stuff. I don't think turbo mode is available on PS4. But I haven't really gone back and checked. If anybody knows, can you please tell me if it is? Because I've done some digging around, and I can never find the true answer for that. I can never find out whether or not PS4 has turbo mode for a special edition of DMC5. I don't think you can even get special edition. I think you can only get just DMC5 plus Virgil. I think that's... You just have to get just Virgil, I think. But I'm not 100% sure on that one. Again, if anybody knows, you know... Let me know if you happen to know, but if you know, that's fine too. I understand because it's just really weird that way. But other than that, that's pretty much the end of the video, and I'm gonna go do other things for the day. I'm gonna get these things rendering, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. So take care, everybody.